Good morning, everyone. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Three, colors. Ready, hut. Order, colors. Ready, hut. Color drop, fall out.
You may be seated. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm John Zeri, and I'm happy to welcome you to today's ceremony as we take time to recognize our students who have made a bold decision to join the military. Choosing to serve your country is a powerful act of bravery. It takes a big heart and a strong sense of purpose. It's a choice that will shape your futures in incredible ways and make a real difference in the lives of others. As you head to your next chapter, just know that we are in full support of you. Your school community is proud of you and truly thank you for what you're doing. Your decision says so much about who you are and your character. Thank you for your service, your dedication, and stepping up in such an amazing way. Congratulations to all of you. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Captain Scott Eberwine. Captain Eberwine is a native of Hanover Township. He graduated from Miami University, where he majored in accounting and finance, as well as completing the Navy Reserve Officer Training Corps program. He was commissioned as a Naval Supply Officer in 1990, serving 26 years on active duty, including sea tours on the ballistic missile submarine USS West Virginia and the guided missile cruiser USS Anzio, and deployed to Kuwait in 2003 as part of Operation Iraqi Freedom. He is Supply Corps welfare qualified in submarine, surface, aviation, and expeditionary environments. Captain Eberwine is completing his 5th year as Senior Naval Science Instructor for Hamilton High School's Navy Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps program. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Scott Eberwine.
Well, thank you, Mr. Zeri. Thank you to all for being here this morning, and also the tremendous response here from our school district. This is a very important day to many of us in the district and throughout the entire Hamilton community as we recognize those who have committed to serving in the United States military. My 2 tidbits of advice I want to add to you real quick before I introduce the guest speaker is that the numbers and the recruiters that are here today could probably give you a more accurate number, but roughly 80% of our current high school students, senior age, do not qualify for service in the United States military for various reasons. So of the 20%, these individuals here today have stepped up to say, I'd like to serve, and that's incredible. So, the other thing is my biggest advice I'd like to give you is when you get through your boot camp and your initial assessment is to please find somebody, just like we advise you here during school, find a good crowd to get around. Find the good crowd to hang with and then keep charging. Never quit learning and continue to do the best job you can. You'll be amazing. It'll be amazing what the opportunities and the experiences you may have just from superior performance. I'd like now to introduce our guest speaker, and you talk about taking advantage of opportunities throughout his career. Lieutenant Colonel Umholtz is from Ohio, native of Ohio, up near Cleveland. He also graduated from Miami University and got his commission as well with me. So we shared the same, I was Navy, he was Air Force, but we share the same spaces down in Millett Hall. I understand Millett Hall is scheduled for demolition as the Miami University builds a new arena. And Colonel Umholtz is part of the process of trying to determine the next home of the Miami University ROTC units. He's had an incredible career that continues on with his current position, but he graduated with a degree in history, but he continued on and had additional master's degrees in Russian history, and then also in international diplomacy. So he's continued to learn and continued to do very well. He actually most recently taught at the U.S. Air Force Academy out in Colorado. He has been at Miami University. I think you're completing your first year, is that correct? At Miami University as the senior officer in charge of the Air Force studies. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Colonel Umholtz.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Robert Umholtz, and I am the Air Force ROTC Commander at Miami University. I'd like to start by thanking Hamilton High School, the administrators, Principal Seri, if I said that correct, Captain Eberwine, for inviting me here to speak. This is an honor and a privilege. I'm sure for many of the parents, the family, and the friends, this is a very exciting moment to know that your children are about to do something so large, so enormous, to take on something that 99% of Americans don't do. I promise you they'll be in good hands. A little bit about myself real quickly. I'm a navigator by trade. I couldn't tell you the number of times I've flown around the world. I've spent over 3 years deployed. I've spent a total of 5 years living overseas. And every moment I've been surrounded by great people. I've had dinner with Russians under the Open Skies program. I've flown through the radiation of Fukushima. I've been deployed with the Joint Special Operations Task Force to Baghdad. Pretty fulfilling career, pretty exciting, but I can tell you that it wouldn't have mattered if it wasn't for the people around me. I actually thought about dropping out of the Air Force ROTC program my freshman year because I wasn't sure it was for me. And then I went on a trip to San Antonio with a bunch of guys in the Air Force, and then I decided that they were so great I wanted to stay around them. Here I am, just about to touch 20 years after commissioning, but 23 years after making that decision by hanging out with people at a restaurant on the Riverwalk in San Antonio, and the only reason I'm here was but the grace of God and a couple of guys that were a lot of fun to hang out with. Maybe not the best way to choose your career path, but it worked out pretty well for me, so I'm pretty thankful for it. Got a wife and children out of it. My wife served. It's been amazing. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about these young men and women that are joining the military. Let's recognize them for the fact that they've decided to dedicate the beginning of their adult lives to serving. Some will serve for one tour and they'll get out, and they'll find other ways to serve their country. Some of you will serve for 20, 30, or even 40 years. Many of our finest local, state, and national leaders have started their careers serving in the military. These include Harriet Tubman, Morgan Freeman, John McCain, Adam Driver, 80 current members of the House of Representatives, and 20 members of the Senate. We could also talk about presidents that have started their careers by serving. Many of my most memorable teachers served in the military, and I still remember them and the lessons that they taught me today. I'm still telling my daughter and her teammates the same things that my track coach told me when I was in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, because he was somebody that taught me in my science class, and he was our track coach. I still reach out to him occasionally when I'm in a new location, when I'm running around a track, to let him know that I think about him. Whatever path you take, know that you are in the 1% of Americans serving in the armed forces. As Captain said, 80% of Americans don't even qualify today to serve in our military. Of that 20% left, it is a minuscule amount that actually decide to serve. So 99% of people don't do what you are willing to do. You are the elite, and I thank you for that. What you're signing up to do is important, is critical, and it is, at times, dangerous. But you won't be alone. So I want to ask you, the entire audience, to just pause for a moment and think about what this community means to you. What is your community? What do you think community is? How do you value it? Is community your school? Is it Hamilton High School? Is it your neighborhood? Is it Hamilton itself? Is it your football team? Was it your soccer team? Where do you feel safe, or where do you feel valued? And that's what your community is right now. But I can promise you that each of you are joining a community that needs you. If you invest in your community, it will be more than valuable. It will be more valuable than most communities you've ever been a part of. It will begin to define you. The community will be unique because it will be formed through blood, sweat, and tears. It may not be evident at first, and you may feel like an outsider for a while. You may even feel like an imposter, standing next to great men and women that seem so confident and competent and capable. But I promise you, in time, you'll fill their shoes, and you will be the confident, competent, capable person leading the next generation. This community will be unique because it does not care if you're black or white. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. All that matters in this community is that you have three characteristics. The first is that you must dedicate yourself to your team. The second is you must maintain the core values of your community. In the Air Force, that's integrity first, service before self, excellence in all you do. And the third part is you must do your best. Whether or not you're the most talented person in the room, whether or not you're the smartest person in the room, we do expect you to be the best that you can be, and that will be enough. I was never the smartest person in any room that I walked into. I don't think I was ever the best navigator, but my teammates knew that they could trust me to do the best that I could do, and that's all that we can expect out of you. If you live by these three principles, you are guaranteed to find success in the military and in life. Finally, I want you to think about the work it took to get here. You've read books, you've taken tests, you've joined sports teams, the bands, student council. In fact, you were in 7th grade, I believe, when COVID hit, the first pandemic in 100 years that shut the world down. You had to leave school. You probably went online, studied virtually, but you overcame it. This is harder than anything my generation ever faced. But you didn't get here alone. You had the support of family and friends, of teachers and pastors. I ask at this time that the teachers in the room, administrators, please stand up. I'd like to thank you guys and gals. They've helped you along the way. Think about those that couldn't be here right now because they're teaching a class, they have family events taking place. Make sure you thank the ones that invested in your life. Stay in touch with them, just like I have my high school or my middle school science teacher, my high school English teacher. I made sure to continue to let them know what they meant to me in my life. Of course, I didn't do that until I was 2 years into the Air Force and realized what a big impact they had on my life. But go say thank you now. Make sure you have their contact information. Next, family members, moms, dads, brothers, sisters, grandparents, whoever is here to support you, will you please stand up? And students, let's make sure that we recognize them. This is your base. These are the people you know you can trust, that you can fall back on. When I was struggling at first during navigator training, I probably got a little over-worried, thought I'd fail out. I called my mom. I said, if I get kicked out of the military for being really bad, can I come live with you? She said yes. Okay, we all have fears. We all get nervous. But you have people that care for you. The captain cares for you. Your administrators care for you. Family, friends care for you. You have support. You're going to struggle. But don't be afraid of what happens because you know that you're loved. You're valued. Now, finally, will the men and women who are about to join the armed forces please stand up? Thank you all for picking up the torch, for carrying it. You're the next generation of leaders. My time in the military is rapidly coming to an end. My job's done. But now it's your job. You're the ones that are going to be there to carry the torch, to carry the sword, to defend our borders, to go out overseas, to protect my children, to protect your brothers and sisters, your moms and dads, and I thank you for that. Let's all give them a round of applause. All right, I'll wrap this up quickly by saying may you all have blue skies and tailwinds. I think the Navy says something about fair seas. Fair winds and following seas. So thank you, Godspeed. May you be blessed in your futures. May you all find success, and feel free to reach out to me anytime if you need advice or have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Umholtz. What we'd like to do, the next part of this ceremony, I'm going to call each of the armed forces representatives that are here, and then we'll recognize each of the individuals that are of the students that are going to be going into the military. So first, from the United States Army, Staff Sergeant Nicholas Moore.
Good morning, everybody. Like you said, I am Staff Sergeant Nicholas Moore, and today I'm here to recognize 5 outstanding and unique individuals, so I'm going to go ahead and get right into that. When I call your name, please stand up and just stay standing until the end of everybody's name. First and foremost, Wyatt Adams. He is going to be a 91 Foxtrot Small Arms / Towed Artillery Repairman. Our second person will be Austin Curtis. He is an 11 X-ray Infantryman recruit. We have Robert Garvin, who is a 91 Yankee Unit Supply Specialist. We have Christiana Kennedy. She is an 88 Mike Motor Transport Operation. I do not believe she's here today. And then we have Isaiah Moore, who is a 68 Charlie Practical Nursing Specialist. At this moment, can we please just give them a round of applause? You can go ahead and take a seat. Each one of these fine individuals has taken the opportunity to actually enlist in the United States Army. Each one of them is unique in their own right, talented, disciplined, and committed to the United States Army. And that's something that not a lot of people actually, take the opportunity to do, or even, undergo or undertake that opportunity. And just being able to actually go ahead and have the honor to work with them as their recruiter has definitely been an honor. I know they all ship out this summer, and my time with them will definitely end, but it is certainly never going to be over. I know that one day there is the opportunity to meet them out in the armed forces at one of their units, and I truly hope that I do get the honor to do so. But without any further ado, we'll go ahead and move on to the United States Marine Corps. Thank you.
Sergeant Dacus is not here for the United States Marine Corps. I'm going to recognize those individuals that are going to be going in. So first and foremost, Ms. Callie Graham. She's going to be she's going to go into the military police specialty for the Marine Corps, and was heavily active with the JROTC program here at the high school. Is Mr. Isaiah Goins? Not here. So let's give a round of applause for Ms. Graham. Represent the United States Navy, Petty Officer First Class, Ryan Sawhook. Mr. Sawhook just took over as the lead recruiter for the Hamilton High School area, so he'll be with us for the next couple years.
All right. Thank you, sir, for that fine introduction. Good morning, future soldiers, Marines, airmen, sailors, National Guardsmen, and family and friends, as well as administrators, teachers, counselors. Thank you all for being here today and having to recognize all these fine individuals who are taking that oath of enlistment into the world's greatest military force that the world has ever seen. I'm Petty Officer First Class Ryan Sawhook. I'm an actual native here of Hamilton, Ohio. I grew up in Fairfield, graduated from Fairfield in 2011, and I had the opportunity of serving into the United States Navy. And I actually had the fine opportunity of coming back home and share with my expertise and my experiences with students here at Hamilton High School, Fairfield, and all the other schools here in Butler County. Thank you for having me be here today. I want to go ahead and take another careful consideration into all the family and friends that are be here to support your sons, daughters, relatives that have taken that oath of enlistment into the military. Without your support, they wouldn't be here today. So I want to say thank you to all parents to continue to provide the support to your child for their future endeavors into the military forces. At this moment, I'd like to recognize all of our future sailors that have enlisted into the United States Navy. So if you could please, when I announce your name, please remain standing, and then we'll congratulate all of you. So if I could have, please, future sailor Preston Bailey, future sailor Simone Bradbury, future sailor Sophia Jenkins, future sailor Noah Lewis, future sailor Tanner Martino, and future sailor Aiden Rollins. These young men and women have taken the oath of enlistment into the United States Navy. Some of them are actually here at Hamilton High School in the Navy's ROTC program. So I think from their endeavors in that classroom, they've taken into consideration that what they enjoy doing in that program, they want to continue on into future endeavors as well. So if we could please give a round of applause to our future sailors. All right, you may be seated. All right, then we'll go ahead and roll right into the next military branch, the United States Air Force.
So actually, we do not have anybody that's going into the Air Force or into the National Guard per se, so we don't have those representatives here. I would like to call next up here is the West Point admissions representative, Mr. Tim Kilgore.
West Point, the United States Military Academy, was named the toughest school to get into a few years ago by Princeton Review. Besides being competitive as excellent academically, Forbes magazine ranked West Point as high as the #1 college in the U.S. in recent years, the first engineering school in the country that excels in 36 academic majors in both the sciences and humanities, a reason West Point was the #4 engineering school, but also the #8 liberal arts college and #3 public university last year, produces more Rhodes Scholars than any college except Harvard, Princeton, Yale, and Stanford, and develops more CEOs than any other college. West Point is best known for its leadership training. Since its founding in 1802, West Point has provided the nation with many of its finest leaders, especially those who have answered the summons of the trumpet in our nation's most difficult times. Leaders such as Grant, MacArthur, Patton, Eisenhower, and more recently Schwarzkopf, Austin, and Pompeo. For our nation's young men and women who seek to join the long gray line of leaders such as these, West Point offers a rigorous education that challenges the whole man, the whole woman, and culminates in a Bachelor of Science degree and the distinct privilege of serving our country and its citizens. 15,000 compete for 1,200 cadetships each year. Those appointed have demonstrated excellence in academics, athletics, and leadership. Each cadet receives a full 4-year undergraduate scholarship valued at $250,000 in education, not including military training and pay. And upon graduation, is commissioned as an officer in the United States Army, formed by the core values of duty, honor, country, and sworn to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. On behalf of the President of the United States and the Secretary of the Army, it is an honor to announce the appointment and admission of Peyton Davis to the United States Military Academy at West Point.
Thank you, and congratulations, Peyton. And congratulations to each one of you whose names were called here today. Thank you again for your service And I know it's going to be exciting whether you're going into education or into training for a while, or you're going directly into the service. Enjoy the time. Take advantage of all those opportunities that come to you. So without further ado, the next person I'd like to recognize that'll come to the podium and close out this event is Gunnery Sergeant Todd McAllister. Gunnery Sergeant McAllister is a 20-year veteran of the United States Marine Corps, and then 20 years and 1 month veteran of teaching Navy Junior ROTC here at Hamilton High School, retiring on 1 March. I think if you look at his background, what is most applicable is the teaching. First of all, he knows exactly where you're coming from the last 4 years. In some cases, he's taught many of you in this room. But also he can relate to where you're headed to as well. One of his assignments during his active duty career was as a drill instructor at Parris Island, the Marine Corps base Parris Island. So he definitely understands what you're getting ready to head to as well. To help you kind of bridge the two and give you definitely the best words of advice for all of us here, Gunnery Sergeant McAllister.
Well, good morning. I tell you, being gone for about a few months here, coming back through them front doors brought a tear to my eye, because I know how special Hamilton is, irregardless of what you hear from the rumblings out there in the streets. And I found that out real quick when I left Hamilton, just how much I was going to miss it. And I do. I miss the kids. I miss the camaraderie of the adult conversations that we have here, because I know that every human being in this building, adult-wise, has your best interest at heart, whether you feel that or not. And sometimes that takes discipline. That's the discipline that's unwanted by any child. But you'll thank them one day. I want to talk about participation. You're about to embark a part of your life that's going to require a lot of participation. They're not going to pat you on the back. They're not going to say, "Good job, Johnny," or Susie, and hand you this little participation trophy. "Thanks for coming, and we're going to give you a cardboard cookie and send you on your way." They're not going to do that. There is no participation trophy in life or in any job of any importance or anything, even as being a parent. There's no participation trophies after this. Your life is about ready to change big time. It's going to become uncomfortable if it hasn't done so already. Those uncomfortable conversations, if you haven't had them yet at the MEPS, when they start talking about powers of attorneys and wills and what do we do if something happens to you while you're serving your country. And if you haven't had it yet, you will no doubt have it in your next visit to MEPS. And then there's going to be a moment and like, we're having this conversation for what? Am I really about to do what I'm about to do? Yes, you are. And thank you for doing that. Not many in this world will do what you're about to do already so young in your life. There will be many others from Hamilton High School and in many other schools that will join the decisions that you have made for yourself already later. Trust me, I've seen it over the years. When you get to your point of destination, whether it be the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, when you show up there, it's going to get really uncomfortable. You're going to have a receiving of a culture shock that you have never seen before. They are going to be all in you like you have never felt before. You are going to be made to do things that you never would have thought possible someone would have that kind of authority over you. And they do. And it's all for good reason. They're going to break you down. They're going to break your soul. You are not the it anymore. You are one that wants to be one of us. And by God, young lady, young man, you're going to earn it. They're going to dig deep into you. And I mean dig hard. Because if you really want to stay there, and if you want to earn that title, you want to earn that recognition, and you want to earn that responsibility that you're about ready to embark on, and someone to represent those services that you're about ready to represent, well, by God, you better be there and be ready to work. One moment, you're going to have somebody out there that's going to, they're going to start whimpering and whining, and then you're going to want to join that crowd because that's the easy way out. In fact, it's the most cowardly way out. And it's the easiest way out, to quit. And you will resent that decision for the rest of your life because you didn't have enough courage or the stamina, the heart and the soul to dig those feet in the sand and work. Don't embarrass yourself. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now is I'm looking around and looking at the students. And I can see that there's a couple of you that are not believing me because you're not looking at me. And you're going to be the first one to quit because you think you know it all already, and you don't. And your parents would love to have you home. Are you willing to do the work to get out from underneath that umbrella and then start embarking life into the life that you must start to earn? Get out from underneath the financial support, the insurance and the food and the housing and all the responsibilities that these parents have had over you for all these years. It is your responsibility now. Ain't no calling mama or daddy from boot camp, save me. You stay in it. You stay in the fight and you work hard. If you want something positive out of what you're doing, then irregardless of how uncomfortable it may feel, you'll finish what you started. You'll get through all that sweat, blood, and tears and the grind and enjoy all the camaraderie, and you'll remember that experience for the rest of your life. But it's up to you if you want it to be a negative experience or a positive experience. First thing they're going to do, once they get you uncomfortable, is they're going to strip you of every ounce of dignity that you may have in yourself. They're going to make you look like everybody else. Haircuts. They're going to remove your phones. They're going to take everything that you're always so used to having, and they're going to get your undivided attention. Then the party starts. Are you willing to work? And then there's going to be a time in the middle of everything. I just can't do it no more. Do not quit. If you get held back for medical reasons, you get hurt or whatever, don't give up hope. Stay in the fight. Get better. If they allow you to stay and get rehabilitated and work hard, then you do that. Do not take that opportunity to get me out of here. Don't do that. It's no different than getting a sprained ankle and skipping a year of basketball and whatever and moving on to the next year. Just a little bump in the road. Be that leader in those squad bays. Help others. Work hard. And then by God, when you get to that parade deck at the end of those boot camps, you're going to feel something that you have never felt before. A sense of pride, a sense of ownership. And you're going to give your parents something to love you so much more about. of the heart and desire that you put into that to represent something bigger than yourselves. And them drill instructors and others will be proud of you as well. So do not quit. Last bit of advice. After you graduate or you leave school, you get your butts out there and run. You keep your butts in the gym. You get out there and you prepare like no other. Don't put your recruiters in a pickle. Don't take it for granted that you think you are already ready, because you're not. And they will quickly make you realize that you're not. Get out there and get into the gyms. Run. And now versus later. It'll make life that much easier when you get there to be physically fit, study your knowledge, and be ready. It's all about preparation. So, last word of advice. Don't take your family for granted. Write your moms, write your dads, write your grandparents, whoever it is that got you here. Okay? You might want their letters just like anything else, you know? But you got to write to them too. They want to know what you're doing. They want to hear about your experiences. If you don't want your mother, or especially your mothers, on your backside, I would suggest you go ahead and start writing some letters now and prepping them, getting them ready to mail. Because you're not going to have that kind of time at night. And you better start practicing your speed writing too. Write your moms. Okay? You wouldn't be here without them, or your fathers, or your grandfolks, or whoever it is that you have leaned on over the years. Write them. Okay? You're going to want theirs. Like I said, a door swings both ways. You don't write me, well, I'm daggone sure not writing you. Good luck. I hope you're having fun there. So, with that being said, I wish all of you the best of luck. I know that you're going to represent Hamilton well, because I know a lot of Hamilton kids go to these boot camps and do awfully really well. That says a lot about Hamilton. They prepare you for that cultural war that you're about ready to get into in that environment. Your skin is hardened already. You'll get there. I wish all of you the best of luck. Mr. Superintendent, thank you for being here. Mrs. Blevins, I hope everything's going well up there in district and everything. Mr. John Zeri, please, thank you so much for inviting me back for this. I'm guessing this is my last time. But I wish each and every one of you very well. Captain, I hope everything's going well for you in the program and everything. Help is on its way. I trust you. It's coming. Boys, I wish I was a fly on the wall when she gets here. But thank you for having me. I wish all of you the best. Families, moms and dads, good luck to your kids in the journey that they're about ready to partake. Thank you.
Thank you, Gunnery Sergeant. I would like to thank our Hamilton High School Guidance Department, and specifically Lisa Caudell, for arranging and setting up this whole ceremony. Again, congratulations to each of you that are committing to go serve. This does conclude our ceremony this morning. I want to remind you we have lots of food left over. Please help yourself. Thank you.